Well, that's episode 190. I am your host, Spen Harris. We probably should have did a mic check before this episode. I believe we're all set on the mic. Big episode today. It's a solo episode. Nick is at men's basketball doing his best Cam Thomas impression, so he will not be joining us today, but I do have a lot to talk about in terms of Cam Thomas's interview recently with Chris Haynes on Bleacher Report. We're going to talk about the Nets win over the Cleveland Cavaliers, 120-101. And unfortunately, we're going to also talk about the two losses against Charlotte and against Detroit from Saturday and Thursday. But first, big shout out to Chris Haynes for getting the coveted Cam Thomas interview on Bleacher Report. I watched the first half of it. I asked a question. I thoroughly enjoyed the interview. I had work to do because it was a work day, so I shut off my the stream. Of course, the second I stopped watching, apparently Chris Haynes asked my question. So I was going to play Cam Thomas's answer for you from my question. I thought it was a pretty interesting question. Spen Harris asked, why should Nets fans be excited for the future of this franchise? For those of you who don't know, I am Spen Harris, host of Fireside Nets. So here was Cam Thomas's answer to why should Nets fans be excited for the future of the franchise?
Oh, yeah. Just, you have guys like, Mikhail, me, Claxton. I feel like when we play together, we get good minutes together. Cam Johnson. I feel like when we all play together and get good minutes together, we're very efficient together. We play well together. So I feel like we just need more reps together and just, figuring out how you try to play really because, even last year when they got traded, I didn't really play with them for I was just because when they got traded, I played like a few games, but then I was just out the lineup, out of rotation, and it was just them three playing. But I feel like, when we play together, get good reps together, we're a tough team to beat, and we're always in every game that we play. So I feel like there's a lot of good things to look at. Don't look at right now because obviously it's tough. We're going through some stuff. It was a lot of tough stuff, but I feel like when you just look at the early part of the year and just look at, some of the Spurs where we play together, it's been really good. So, just stick with us and stuff. So that's good.
Future of the franchise.
So you hear how he answers that question. He talks about the core of him, Mikal Bridges, and Nick Claxton, which, those have been our best three players this year. But I like the way he talks about the future in the sense that he believes he's going to be a part of it. He's a young player. He is the guy that the Nets should build around. In that interview with Chris Haynes, it kind of sounds like he knows that. And he knows that he's in their future plans. So for me, I like to hear that. Of course, it isn't great right now. I think we can all see that. He's been hurt. I mean, to start the year, Cam Thomas was balling. There were talks that he was a top 20 scorer in the NBA when he was healthy. He gets hurt. Obviously, Mikhail goes through a bit of a cold streak, and the team just kind of falls apart. We all know this, but I like his answer to that question a lot. I like his confidence in that core group of him, Mikhail, and Clax. Can that core do something in the future? Yeah, you're going to need the right pieces. You're definitely going to need a superstar if you want to have any shot at a championship. You might even need a superstar and a half, right? Because we still don't know if Mikhail can be that reliable number two option. Maybe Cam Thomas can be that reliable number two option. Maybe he's the guy to grow into that number two option. I'm just not sure yet. But shout out to Chris Haynes. Shout out to Cam Thomas. Thank you guys for answering my question on the Bleacher Report stream. All right, let's get into this surprising win in Cleveland, 120-101. The Nets beat the Cavaliers. Just when you thought the season was over, all hope is lost. The Nets, the Brooklyn Nets come and shock you on a Sunday, right? This was Sunday night. I believe the game started at 4 p.m., was it? It was an early start time. I didn't watch because I've been recording the games and watching the next day. I was not going to let the Nets take my weekend from me. I knew I just couldn't let them have it. They had 2 straight games on Saturday and Sunday, back to back. I just could not take my day and give it to the Brooklyn Nets, not after what they've done this year. So I missed the game. Was it? I'm trying to think. Was it a 4 p.m. start time, or was it a 7 p.m. start time? I guess I'm not gonna find it on the internet because it already happened. But I didn't watch the game. But I'll tell you this: I did watch it on Monday after work. I watched the whole game, and I was shocked. I was shocked with a few things. I like that the team still had some fight in that first quarter when George Niang and Nick Claxton got into it. Niang was totally in the wrong there. Claxton's a guy, he's an emotional player. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. I'm surprised he didn't rip Niang's neck off his head because that was a ridiculously dirty play to just throw Claxton into McHale. But whatever that did, it sparked a fire under Claxton. And Claxton had a really, really good game, solid first half. He finished with 16 points and 10 boards, but he really took it to Niang in that first half. Now, in Niang's defense, he was also great. He was the Cavs' leading scorer on the night with 20. I think he had 15 in the first half. He was great. So that little skirmish sparked both Claxton and Niang, but Claxton's a guy, it's a contract year at the end of the year, and he's either going to get paid by the Nets or he's not. And every single game for him down the stretch in this season is important because the better he plays, the more money he's going to get. So it was nice to see that fight from him. It was really nice to see Mikal Bridges and Cam Thomas both have good games. 29 points from Cam Thomas, 9 of 19 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, 6 of 8 from the line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He was a plus 27. Think about that. The Nets won by 19. Cam Thomas was a plus 27 in this game. He was absolutely outstanding. Some of the threes he hit, you talk about the three at the end of the third quarter to get all the momentum back. That's a 13-point lead to a 16-point lead to close out the third quarter. And then you start the fourth strong and you pretty much put the Cavs away early. You love to see that from Cam. You love to see him showing emotion. He talked about in the post-game presser and in the interview with Chris Haynes, he talked about being more communicative with his team and being more talkative and getting guys going. He talked about that third quarter. The Cavs opened up. I think they went on a 5-point run. Cam Thomas had a turnover, missed a 3 or airballed a jumper. But the Nets showed poise in that. They showed that they can take a first punch in the third quarter from Cleveland and punch the hell back down the stretch in that third quarter. They outscored Cleveland 44-29 in the third, one of their best quarters of the season. And Cam Thomas was a huge part of that. I want to give Mikal Bridges a lot of credit for this game. 25 points, 9 of 14 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. He was a plus 9. I like that he took 14 shots. Obviously, if the game was closer in the fourth, I think that number probably goes up to 18 or 19. I want to see him around 17 to 18 shots a game. I want him to be more aggressive. I don't care that he's cold. He's a guy that needs to be shooting the basketball. So I want to see him elevate that number from 14 to 17 or 18, but it was nice to see him shoot well from 3, over 50% for the game. Ended up with 25. Him and Cam Thomas combined for, 54 points. It was nice to see. Those two guys have not both played well together. So it was nice to see for one night them come together and do something special. We talked about the brilliance of Nick Claxton. And then the role guys filled in. Like Dennis Schroeder was fantastic with 17 points and 8 assists. He was 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. He had a ridiculous shot in the third quarter to beat the buzzer from 3. 1 turnover for Dennis Schroeder. So those are the numbers you like to see. 8 assists, 1 turnover, 17 points, filling up the stat sheet as that third or fourth option if you think he's 3A to Clax and Clax is 3B. And then the role guys filled it out. Dorian Finney-Smith with 11 points. Dennis Smith Jr. came off the bench. He had 7. Day'Ron Sharpe had a few buckets. He was a plus 17. And then Jalen Wilson with 7 points himself. So overall, you love to see it from a Nets team that had just been, as Kevin Ollie put it, taking punches from everybody recently. I was really happy with this performance from everybody, especially our top 2 guys in Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges. Now, Something I was thinking about today, I'm going to get into a little bit of a tangent. How can the Nets be more successful like this night in, night out? Well, I need to see Mikal Bridges being aggressive every single night. I don't care that he's missing. He has to be aggressive. When he is not aggressive, and I know what I'm going to get from Cam Thomas, whether Cam Thomas is cold or whether he's hot, I know he's going to put up a million shots, and he's not going to be shy when he has the basketball. But when Mikal Bridges is passive, this is kind of what I decided today. Other role guys feel the need to step up and try to create more offense, whether it's Dennis Schroeder, whether it's Dorian Finney-Smith, whether it's one of the bench guys, Dennis Smith Jr., Jalen Wilson. I'm not going to mention Lonnie Walker because I think that Lonnie Walker can get a bucket anytime he wants. I think outside of Cam Thomas, Lonnie Walker is the best bucket getter on this team. But when Mikal isn't aggressive, other guys feel the need to be more aggressive. The Trendon Watfords of the team, the Dennis Smith Jr.'s I mentioned, DFS. And when those role guys are more aggressive offensively, the Nets struggle. So we need Cam Thomas. I'm sorry, not Cam Thomas. We need Mikal Bridges to shoot the basketball and shoot it well. That's how we're going to win basketball games down the stretch. Whether we make the plan or not, I'm not going there yet. I got to see better basketball. You can't lose to Detroit and Charlotte and then go win a game in Cleveland and expect me to buy that you're a serious basketball team. Not yet. You haven't showed me that. So Mikal, I got to see more performances like this out of Mikal Bridges. Now, let's get to the bad. We're going to talk about the game on Saturday. Again, did not watch it during. I remember this was a night game. I chose to, I think, go out to dinner with my wife instead. But I watched this game Sunday early morning, and it was atrocious. I mean, this was a rough game. So Mikal did get 18 shots in this one. He was 6 of 18 from the field, 4 of 11. He finished with 19 points. Cam Thomas had a really nice game, 31 points, 12 of 24 from the field, but 17 measly points in the second and fourth quarter. They get outscored 52-34 in those two quarters. Unacceptable against the Hornets team that was on the second half of a back-to-back. Miles Bridges went off, 24 points, 10 rebounds. Brandon Miller, 23 points, 7 rebounds. You had Nick Richards going for a double-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds for Nick Richards. And then you had every single player coming off the bench. Bertans with 11. Jacob Pokusevski with 7. JT Thor with 5. And then I believe Nick Smith Jr. with 7. So I'm sorry, 4. He had 4 points. So everyone who played for the Hornets scored a little bit. They just beat up on the Nets. The Nets were never really in this game. 110-99 is your final. This is a game that if you were serious about trying to catch Atlanta, you win this game. Disjointed, effortless, lack of effort. I was pretty disgusted, and I'm glad I watched this game the next day because God knows how I would have reacted on Twitter if I watched this during. I watched this the next day. So smart of me. And then if that wasn't bad enough, the game before, I know we're a little out of order here. We usually go the last game, and then we go all the way back to the beginning of the week. But I wanted to just get the Hornets and get the Pistons game out of the way. You lose 118, 112. Just a tough loss to one of the worst teams in the league in the Detroit Pistons. Granted, the record is one of the worst in the league, not necessarily their talent. Cade Cunningham's a monster. He had a really, really strong game in this one. And Cade Cunningham finished with 32 points. Jaden Ivey finished with 34 points. You can't let up 66 points to Detroit's backcourt and expect to win. You just can't. Ugly win. Ugly 2 losses by the Brooklyn Nets, the Pistons, the Hornets. Even playing teams don't do that. So just gross. And like I said, Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas, they were okay. Especially Cam Thomas was okay. Mikal scoring 19 on a crappy shooting night is unacceptable in Charlotte. And then what did he put up in Detroit? In Detroit, he was 4 of 11 for 13 points. You can't shoot 11 times if you're Mikal Bridges. You just can't. Unacceptable. So I got to see more out of him. I got to see more out of these guys like we saw in Cleveland. So that's it. We're covering 3 games. I don't feel the need to cover any more than that. It's been a rough stretch. These are the podcasts that, brother's busy. My co-host is busy. I could have asked someone to do this podcast with me. I prefer to just do it by myself, mainly because I needed a vent. I didn't want to hear someone tell me to be optimistic. I didn't want to hear someone to tell me the season's over. I needed to get my thoughts out. And it's pretty simple. This team is not an untalented team. They just haven't played together. They were supposed to have a point guard in Ben Simmons be the leader. He hasn't been on the court. Dennis Schroeder has come in. He's done an okay job running the 1. But the more him, McHale, Cam Thomas, and Claxton can get minutes together, the stronger we might see that unit become. And we can sort of tell down the stretch if this is a good basketball team that we can build on. You heard Cam Thomas's answer to my question. What does the future hold for the Brooklyn Nets? He's optimistic. Now, he said, don't look at us right now, right? It's hard not to. We're fans. We're going to watch what's happening now. But he said, not right now. It's not great, but give us some time to gel. Be patient. Sports is about patience. Nobody got good overnight. It takes time. We'll see. So everyone who tuned in for Nets Talk, thank you. I am going to talk Oscars for a second because I did watch. It was fucking awesome. Shout out to Jimmy Kimmel. Great Oscars host. I'd be okay if he hosted the show every year. Oppenheimer won a bunch. I didn't see it, but I want to. I'm going to. My dad and my brother saw it in theaters. They liked it. I don't care that it's long. I don't mind long movies. I can start a long movie and watch it in 2 or 3 different, time periods. So I'll start it Thursday night, watch an hour Friday, and finish the final hour on Saturday. I can watch movies like that. I'll do that with the Leo De Niro movie, Flowers of the Killer Moon too. I'll watch both those movies. Although that movie did not win a ton. Poor Things won. I did see Poor Things with Emma Stone over the weekend. She won for Best Actress, and I believe they won a few other awards. Poor Things was a weird movie, but I liked it. Don't want to give away too much. If you haven't seen it, buckle up. It's one of those just don't watch with your children. Don't watch with someone who you might feel uncomfortable with watching a film that has, it would have been rated X or TVMA if it had a rating that wasn't R. So that's what I'll tell you there. But good movie. Poor Things, good movie. Emma Stone definitely deserved Best Supporting Actress. She was amazing. Just her entire performance from the start of the movie to the finish. She has you breathless the whole movie. Ruffalo was great. He didn't win for Best Supporting Actress or Best Supporting Actor, but he did a good job. Willem Dafoe, as always, was brilliant. I like Poor Things. Another movie that we watched over Christmas was The Holdovers, and I think at the time Nick and I said that Divine Joy Randolph, Nick's my co-host of Fireside Nets and my brother, Divine Joy Randolph, we said should win Best Supporting Actress. And that's what she won. She won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. As great as Giamatti is in that movie, I think she makes the movie. Her presence on the screen is just, it can't be missed. Every time she's on the screen, you're smiling externally and internally. Every scene with her was powerful. She really made that movie special. And that's not to undermine the job that Paul Giamatti did, because he was fantastic as well. But I feel she really brought the movie together, and she was very, very deserving of that award. And then finally, Ryan Gosling performing I'm Just Ken at the Oscars. Doesn't get much better than that. If I was ever going to be at an Oscars, I kind of wish I was at the one on Sunday night. It just seemed like, you had the host and Kimmel, you had the celebrities and the personalities, the old and the new. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I loved Gosling singing I'm Just Ken. He is, oh God, how can you not be a Ryan Gosling fan? He is just the perfect freaking male actor, funny, clever, intelligent. I mean, I don't know if he can hoop. That's the thing. He probably can't. I probably 11-0 him. So Ryan Gosling, if you're listening, you can't hoop, but you're good at everything else, so that's fine. But great Oscars. I'm sure Nick would have liked that. As you guys know, Nick is a screenwriter and an actor. I'm not. I'm just a crazy Nets fans who comes on the mic on a Monday night to vent to you guys about the Nets and how much I hate them and how much I love the Oscars. So title of the episode is, Was I Wrong for Watching the Oscars? Feel free to tweet at me, DM me at Fireside Nets. Let me know what you think. Obviously, a lot of you guys watched the game, and it was a win. So you guys were right to watch the game against the Cavs. If you watched against the Hornets and the Pistons like I did, not so much. Well, the Pistons I watched live. The Hornets I watched the next day. All right, that just about does it for this week's episode of Fireside Nets. I'm Spen Harris. I'm your host. Episode 190 in the books. Hopefully we get Nick back for Fireside Nets next week. Let's close out the season strong, guys, and let's have a good week. Shout out to me. It's my birthday on Thursday. Good night.